What's up, guys? How's it going? Today, I want to react to a really interesting segment with Tim Tebow and Cam Newton talking about the national final between Miami and Indiana. And man, this game has so much going on behind the scenes that goes way beyond the scoreboard. It's not just about who plays better, it's about who can handle the pressure on a stage this big. I really like this conversation because they talk about quarterbacks, defense, leadership, and expectations in a very direct way, the kind of insight that only comes from people who've actually been there. The way Tim Tebow breaks down Miami's defense and how it could affect Fernando Mendoza feels very real. So let's watch and see what these guys have to say about a game that promises to be way more balanced than a lot of people are expecting.
My friend Tim Tebow.
Let's welcome in two-time national champion there, Tim Tebow. Hello, Tim Tebow.
How we doing, guys? Thanks for having me.
You know, my favorite thing about those flashbacks is you had no grace.
Right. It's that the times have changed. Times have changed. When you over 50, my brother. That's just how it goes. But I like it. I like the way I look right now.
You got to bring the glasses back. I asked him if he got LASIK. I'm like, what happened to the glasses? Took those away. Tim, what are your expectations for Fernando Mendoza against this Miami defense tonight?
Well, I think he's going to play well, but I also think he has to play under control because Miami's defense does a lot of different things. You know, they're known for being super physical and getting after the quarterback, but I think it's even more than that. I think what they do in coverage is very unique, and it's not always sound, which gives a...
All right, this right here is already a very important point. He's basically saying that Miami's defense isn't confusing by accident. It's on purpose. They're trying to make the quarterback hesitate. Now tell me in the comments, do you think that's a genius strategy, or is it playing way too risky in a championship game?
Quarterback like Fernando Mendoza, a lot of issues. You look at the playoffs, what they've done so far against Marcel Reed. You look at what they did last week against Trinidad, and they have put him in a really tough position. They play a 3-fire zone, a 6-fire zone, and then they play a 2 invert, which is a backside corner getting depth, but a lot of times he doesn't actually get there, which makes a quarterback that wants to know where all 22 are a little bit nervous because, like, no, he's supposed to be there, but he's not, right? And it's something that I've talked to Fernando about, and we talked a lot because it's not that it's not sound, it's that they do it on purpose so that the quarterback will hesitate. And look at last.
Man, this is so real. The moment the QB starts thinking too much about what he's seeing, it's over. Football is about quick reads. If you freeze for half a second, the defense already won. Anyone who's played or really watched the game knows that.
Last week, Trinidad, the first half, and Trinidad is one of my favorite players in college football, but he was uncomfortable.
Trying to figure it out.
He was trying to figure it out. They're giving him all these different looks, and then the second half, because of the tempo, he was able to get it figured out, and then he started to deal against this defense.
Right.
I think early on, Fernando has to really understand what he's seeing, not put their team in harm's way, because both of these teams are going to try to dictate the style of play.
Right.
And if they can get after him or force a turnover, I think it changes the style of play for Miami.
Tim, I got to go to you with this question because I'm very, very worried about this national championship game. I want a competitive match out. I don't want to see a blowout. I don't want to see what Indiana did to Alabama. I don't want to see. I don't think
we'll see that.
That's where I'm going. I don't want to see what Indiana did to Oregon. What is it about Miami that should make us believe we're not going to see them looking like Alabama or Oregon looked against Indiana?
Offensive and defensive line, Carson Beck, as he handled the situation, the way he plays. So many times we say about quarterbacks that, oh, he's managing the game and making smart decisions as if it's a bad thing.
Right.
It is not a bad thing. Like, he knows that this team goes through their offensive defensive line, and Mark Fletcher, the best offensive defensive line for Miami that Indiana has faced all year.
So my question for you and for Cam is this. You saw that list of Heisman winners at the quarterback position who also won national championships. When you win the Heisman and then you get to this game, how much pressure was on you both to try to go out and prove that you deserve the Heisman by winning a championship to add to that?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, and it's not necessarily pressure that you want or you ask for, but it's pressure that's put on everyone else around you, and they love you so much that can't help but be put on you. Like, just when you're there. I remember before I was blessed to win, the trustee puts his hand over the microphone. He goes, hey, by the way, I just want whoever of you that wins, you're going to be named, introduced, and remembered for the rest of your life as
This is heavy, man. Hearing someone say you'll be introduced as a Heisman Trophy winner for the rest of your life. And imagine hearing that right before a championship. The pressure isn't just on you, it's on everyone around you.
Heisman Trophy. And then he said that I was ready to puke, you know? And it's like you really think about it. A lot of people do think for the rest of your life, that's how you'll be named and introduced, right? And all of your from his family, his mom and dad, they grew up just down the street, and I don't think there's any way that he's going to have put more pressure on himself than just knowing that this is a massive game. And, you know, I had a chance, we were talking last night, and this is a young man that doesn't have to do anything different tonight than he's done the last 15 weeks.
So I'll say this, man, and for the people who may not know or have been living under a rock, there will not be no Cam Newton if it wasn't for this particular individual right here, where he showed me, right, the young, immature, slappy, right, that came to the University of Florida and had the opportunity to learn and see every single day what being a true leader was. It may not have been pretty, but he got the job done. He may not have been pretty, but he was the guy that everybody trusted. It may not have been pretty, but everybody knew what to expect from Timothy Tebow. So when I seen how a person managed the expectation, it just wasn't because number 15 was running out screaming and hollering. It was how he carried himself. So when y'all sharing these stories of playing beach volleyball with the medicine ball, that's so Tebow.
Oh, he loved it.
And I'll say it in front of every single body. I may have been faster than him.
You were.
But when it came down to quicker,
Slight flex.
three-cone drill, I could not see him. It was certain things that's what made University of Florida so different. Now, I had the opportunity to see Deontay Thompson and Brandon James yesterday, and it was just so good to catch up. When you see a game like tonight, not just managing expectation, who has the most pressure? Is it Miami, who is playing in front of their home crowd, or is it Indiana, a team that's trying to protect the O?
Indiana. I don't even think it's close.
Said the same thing.
This part is really interesting because he completely flips the pressure narrative. Everyone thinks the home team is under more pressure, but he's saying Indiana actually has more to lose. A miracle season, sky-high expectations.
I think Miami's playing with a lot more house money than Indiana. I think Indiana, everybody said it's a miracle season. You're way ahead of your time. It's the greatest turnaround in college football history. It's such an incredible season. Some people are going to put Fernando Mendoza in your category and Joe Burrow's category for what they've done in a year. And I think if they finish this way, he should be in that category. Yeah. But I think there's way more pressure on Indiana. I think they have to do a good job of understanding that we don't have to be any different than we've been all year.
Right.
We just have to be our best for 60 minutes, and our best is going to be good enough. But going back to what you're saying about before, this is one of the most gifted young men I've ever been around. He's also one of the most contagious young men I've ever been around. And we had so much fun. Yeah. And you know, he talks about me pushing him, but he pushed me to the nth degree in so many different ways, with his joy, his love for life, how happy he was, his physical ability, his want to be great. And I'm sure you remember this. I was okay in a few things. One of the things I was okay in was tug of war.
Oh my God.
and I don't know that I ever lost to anybody except for him. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I forgot one or two times. But I remember the first time that Cam, I think it was on a Tuesday night, beat me in tug of war. Yeah. And, you know, boy, he's so strong, and he got me right off the start, and I just couldn't reel back in. But a lot of the times I would win because other people just couldn't. They give up.
He had a presence.
They would give up, right? They wouldn't sustain that relentless effort.
Right.
And he beat me, and everybody stopped.
Yeah.
Everybody stopped.
And I'm so naive to the whole situation. It's like, yo, I'm not trying to get yelled at. Coach Byron, Coach, I was that guy that was like, oh my God, it's Cam again. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to wake up on Saturday mornings to do extra things. But bro, you helped me out so much, man. Whether I knew it directly or indirectly, Tim Tebow had a very major impact on my development.
So my question would be for you, the last question is this, Tim Tebow. Outside of Fernando Mendoza and Carson Beck, What should we be looking at tonight that would be the X factor that decides who has the trophy at the end of this game?
I think there's going to be a lot of X factors that people could name that are highlight reels. I think one that that's way under the radar is Riley Nowakowski, the tight end for Indiana. Because if you go back to last week, where did Ole Miss have a lot of success? Not fully understanding the coverage, but then just giving something that Trinidad could understand. It's in flood concepts, and it was to Daquan, their tight end, and they got 3 huge receptions and on the same play, just flipping it back and forth. One that gave them the go-ahead touchdown late in the game. And I also think that Riley is such a good route runner, blocker, and they can use him so many ways. So when they have all these unique coverages that are going to try to get too over the top of some of these receivers, maybe it's Riley that can have some of the big plays. I know that's under the radar.
No,
but
that's why I asked you, yeah.
Quickly, we got to go. Who you got winning? Indiana or Miami?
I got Indiana in a close one.
Let's go.
Man, after hearing all this, it's easy to understand why this game isn't just talent versus talent. Tim Tebow makes it very clear that experience and game awareness matter a lot, especially in a championship. And Cam Newton brings up the side of pressure, leadership, and responsibility that hardly anyone talks about during broadcasts. What stood out to me the most was this idea that the weight of the game isn't necessarily on the team playing at home, but on the team with more to lose. Indiana is coming off a historic season, everyone praising them, comparing players to huge names. And whether we like it or not, that creates pressure. Miami, on the other hand, seems to be playing a bit freer. In my opinion, this game will be decided in the details. One wrong read, one moment of hesitation, one turnover can change everything. And the team that stays calm, especially the quarterback, takes the trophy. If you enjoyed this reaction, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. Who do you think can handle the pressure better today? Miami or Indiana? See you in the next video.